it's a big day for the likes of me because I'm part of that generation. What I should have done, actually, I should have brought I still have my original passport that I came to this country on when I was 4 years old, and it had the British and Commonwealth passport that allowed you to come to this country. And then what was really interesting is around the 70s and 80s, you then had to decide whether you wanted to become a British citizen.
Right.
And because when I was travelling back and forth to this country, I had to go through the foreigners line rather than go through the British Channel. It was always difficult travelling on that passport. So I had to go through becoming a British citizen in order to get a passport, even though I'd been in this country since I was 4 years old.
That's extraordinary. But of course, that's where a lot of the
That's how the Windrush... Exactly. So
that's how the Windrush scandal started, because many didn't.
Because many people didn't travel, or they went home for a funeral, they suddenly came back, the law had changed. Actually, no, mate, you're not allowed to be here. That could have been me, so I sympathise with them. If I hadn't become a British citizen, I would have had no right to be in this country.
How do you feel now, post the Windrush scandal? I mean, a lot of people, it's still up there. I know the Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, has been making some interesting statements that factually perhaps have been challenged about the amount of people that have been compensated and the amount of people whose cases have been addressed. How do you feel it's been dealt with?
Well, most things could be done much better, and it's as though actually the system is to say no and not realise the massive pain, the emotional pain you must have felt that you've lived in a country all of your life and somebody telling you you're not entitled to your pensions, you're not entitled to this, you can't come to the country. That is pretty brutal for someone that has nowhere else to go.
And not just that, also being told we're going to send you back to a place that you've never been to.
It'd be like sending me back to Jamaica. That ain't home. I'm a Britishman now, and therefore it's not understanding that people should be compensated for that. So I hope they get their act together, and they need to really consider that a lot of people suffered as a consequence of what was a mistake. I accept it was a mistake, but let's try and put that mistake right as quickly as possible.
Susie, do you think that the lessons of Windrush have been learnt?
Not by this government, as shown by Suella Braverman's statements, where she's just rode back on so many of the commitments that had been made to try to compensate those people. But I think we need to recognise that not only the benefits of immigration that were because Windrush happened and that we were invited there. I mean, I'm only here because my grandmother came from Denmark as well. There is more than any one kind of immigrant in this country. We're all immigrants from somewhere, and that is all brought whatever wealth and knowledge and expertise to this country, and that's how this country is, whatever it is. And I think that should be celebrated and marked and recognised a lot more than it is.
We shouldn't romanticise it. The reason why we came here for a better life.
Yeah.
My mum tells me some phenomenal stories about what life was like for her as a child growing up. No electricity, no running water. It was pretty dire. And therefore, coming here was a big opportunity for us. And I say to those people, I celebrate those people because they had the courage to leave everything they'd known to come to a foreign country to give themselves and their children a chance in life. And so I'm grateful that my parents had the courage, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to.
I think we should learn from that, but we should have to learn from the experience of the mistreatment as well. Because having a British and Commonwealth passport, it may not be the British passport, you should have still been in the British Commonwealth line with everybody else. You shouldn't have been treated as a foreigner.